Hello, everyone. We are still waiting for other people to come in, but I just wanted to say welcome everyone to this session. And while we are waiting for some others to join the session, I just wanted to acknowledge people who contributed to this event. The marketing department of Georgian Court, they were behind the scene creating the web page, helping me learn how to use Zoom and publicity, the promotional materials. So thank you very much, GCU Marketing. We couldn't have done it without you guys. All the vendors and the exhibitors at the exhibit hall, they actually are donors to the Georgian Court University. Thank you, donors. Thank you so much for participating. And some of my colleagues and alum are joining as presenters, exhibitors, as well as participants. So I'm so grateful that many of you take different roles and different ways to be part of this event. When the event was canceled in March, it was such a disappointment to all of us, but I am very happy that we are able to hold this space for all of us to be together. As I told someone, even though we can't be physically in person together, we are still connected through the spiritual means as well as the technologically connected. All right, welcome everyone. I'm going to share the screen and then start the presentation. So give me one moment. Thank you for coming. So this session is about compassionate health and wellness coaching. My name is Sachiko Kubagata. I am part of the Department of Integrative Health and Exercise Science at Georgian Court. So many of you on the surface, we probably have this in the part of your brain, back of your mind, what's going on every day, the number changes, and these figures are from Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center. And the picture on the right is obviously the size and the intensity of the pandemic globally. I would like you to just pay attention to just one number here at the bottom, which is a US death. And you may say, like, what are you talking about? This is a wellness and health and wellness coaching session. Why are you talking about this? But just keep this in mind. If you have a good memory, just have this number in your head for a moment. If you look at the chronic conditions that many of us experience over the years, cancer and heart disease come to the top two. And if you combine these conditions together, in the United States, we are losing this many people every year. And if you remember that number you saw earlier, what's the magnitude? What's the significance? And I wanted to show some comparison here quickly. And underneath, meaning not the surface, underneath of all this are, as many of you anticipated, I don't even have to verbalize, pictures will tell you, right? So how we live our life every day, how we spend our free time, how we manage our stress, how you secure time and quality sleep every night, the food choices, and whether if you decide to inhale or smoke. And all of these things are something we choose every day. And some of us are doing relatively well, and others, it's very hard to change or hard to come to the point of change. When I was working in a hospital setting, one of the cardiologists was always telling the patient at the table, really at the cardiology office table, say, after the fact that a person had a heart attack, massive heart attack, and he asks the patient, when did you smoke the last time? And the person says, well, that was this morning around 8 a.m. Then he says, well, that's going to be the final last smoke cigarette that you have in your life. And many of the patients actually told me that story, that they renewed their sense of priority and changed themselves after that incident. But is it too costly for you to experience something significant, such as massive heart attack, to change your life? Or would you rather start now before things happen to you? And the majority of this audience here, I can tell you are so well versed and well informed. So please forgive me that we are coming from very bottom up approach to this idea. So hopefully by looking at these 3 slides so far, that okay, underneath, under the surface, these are happening every day and in each of our family unit or each of our life. And what are we doing for that? Well, maybe nothing is done for some of us, and others recognize that there may be a way to change your course of your life. So I just wanted to share with you what health and wellness coaches mean in general and currently. So we have a good basis together. The health coaches and health and wellness coaches partner with a client seeking to enhance their well-being through self-directed, lasting changes aligned with their values. So just reading that, it's about well-being. It's not disease or health, but well-being. Enhancing their well-being usually means elevating their quality of life. And self-directed, meaning that perhaps it's not the coaches are leading the way, but the person who is carrying their life today is going to self-direct their path. And the lasting changes, meaning that hopefully that something you do is going to continue on sustainable changes so that it becomes you eventually and not something you need effort to do. And those changes should be aligned with their value, meaning the person's values. So if you are not vegetarian, and if somebody says, oh, you got to be vegetarian in order to live a healthy life, how does that relate to their values and preferences? Probably not. So, so instead, for example, there may be a way to inform the individuals about the plant-based diet. What are the impacts, positive impacts of phytochemicals that are in part of the plants, and how those phytochemicals impact your overall well-being, as opposed to just one word, you got to be this or that. All right, and then the coaches also have these assumptions or the sort of underneath concepts in mind. The coaches will carry this unconditional positive regards for their clients, meaning that the moment you meet someone, you're not going to make any judgment from the way the person appears to you. You're not going to make any evaluation by the observation, but rather acknowledge and accept the person sitting in front of you and respect that person has the capacity to change on their own, a belief in their capacity for change. And each client, each person is an expert of their own life. Absolutely, the coaches or any other entities or individuals, how do you know that person lived their life till today? Probably nothing. And so to respect the individual, that those individuals are the expert on their own life. And finally, the respectful and non-judgmental interactions. Every word you say, every facial expressions you create, that carries your underlying assumptions, your judgment, your non-respectful manners that comes out into the words or the nonverbal aspect of your communication. So as a health and wellness coach, you will be totally respectful and non-judgmental in the conversation as well as the interactions. All right. So I hope that makes sense to you. And these are coming from, where is this information coming from? This came from the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaching, NBHWC. And so you can visit the webpage to learn more about health and wellness coaches. And I will show you the next slide, which tells you the healthcare landscape is changing. For those who are already in the healthcare field, that you may be already aware, last year, in January or February last year, American Medical Association approved level 3 CPT codes. CPT code, for those who are not in healthcare, CPT is a code for procedures, treatments, activities that healthcare professionals conduct. And by having this code that the, for example, third-party payers, insurance company pay for that service that is provided to the individuals. So the fact that the AMA, American Medical Association, approved health and wellness coaching as a healthcare procedure is an amazing forward step. I was actually shocked that that already happened. And I thought it's going to take 10, 20 years to see that. But very happy to report to you that it's already in the book and it's already considered to be a healthcare practices. Now, who can provide this service under these codes? The AMA defines a coach as a non-physician healthcare professional certified by NBHWC or NCHEC. And I put two logos so that you kind of have an idea of what these organizations might be. And you can visit their website to learn about their what they do, what kind of certifications they provide. For those who are already familiar with NCHEC, this has a long tradition of serving as a health educator. People who want to be a health educator go into this NCHEC certification. And up to a certain point, that was not in this picture, but the national board, which is here in the left-hand side, the national board is the one the medical board exam is provided. So it was very interesting how the medical board decided to bring health and wellness coaching certification under their umbrella, and then also to add the NCHEC certification as a way to serve as a health and wellness coach or coaches. So in case you're interested in becoming a health coach, this is another information I wanted to share. So this shows you about compassion. Dalai Lama's quote, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. It sounds simple. Yeah, it is. So let's apply this to the health and wellness coaching situation. Let's suppose you are the coach and you want to be compassionate to yourself. I'm going to use my example so it's easier, and I will disclose my challenges here. So anybody who visited my house, you know that I have piles of papers, piles of books, piles of this, piles of that, so-called clutters. And my clutter kind of have no end. It just continued to spread out throughout the house. And that I am aware, just like anybody is aware of their eating habit being not totally good, or somebody who never move and know that exercise is good. So I acknowledge here in front of the audience that my clutter is such a never-ending challenge for me. And as much as I know the benefit of removing clutters, I still do have clutters. So why is it happening? Right. So the one step you can, certainly you can work on this yourself and clear this challenge. But let's first provide oneself compassion to oneself. So I give myself a permission to say, I acknowledge that I do have this weakness or challenge in my life. And the clutter never disappears. Well, I would like to take out the clutters, but it's not happening just yet. And the reasons I can, put is on and on and on, just like Suzanne McMurray mentioned in her presentation earlier, that so first just give yourself, in my case, I'm giving myself permission that I acknowledge my weakness, I acknowledge my shortcomings. When I see the client of mine, and the client's concern might be that I never move, I'm sitting all day long in my clerical work, and I don't know how to start to move. And at that point, in the back of my mind, I can bring my own challenges. And just as much as I am attempting and coping with my challenges in life, I'm hoping I can listen to that person's challenges in the most neutral way. And even not sharing my weakness to the person because that's their coaching session, but your ability to connect, your ability to acknowledge that you do have your own challenges and you do your ability to provide yourself self-compassion. That I believe translate into how you treat other people, how you meet these individuals. And these individuals' challenges may be totally different. Even something I do naturally or joyfully for someone else that may not be naturally and joyfully coming. So the coach's role is trying to first understand where they are and what they are envisioning, a vision of themselves, and then trying to help them figure out their own plan from point A to point B. And within that conversation, the coach may reflect upon what they say, or coach may ask a question to explore. So what are the challenges? What are the limitations? What is inhibiting or becoming an obstacle for someone to overcome that difficulty or challenges? So I hope I made sense about self-compassion and using example of my shortcomings to apply to when you listen to someone else's shortcomings. And if we practice this every day, I think our world would be a much nicer place, isn't it? Yeah, I hope so. And so this is one. I'm gonna keep moving with the quote about compassion and see if any of these resonate with you. Compassion is the wish to see others free from suffering. Compassion is the wish to see others free from suffering. Absolutely. I think the slide set started out with sending compassion with those who are experiencing pandemic direct on. And also the not only the people passed away, but also someone who is experiencing or helping others cope with the pandemic. So are you able to send compassion to others? Let's just look at some of the practical way of sending compassion to others. And you don't have to agree with me. I'm just giving you some examples. And then if you have other examples of how to express compassion to others, please type it into the chat or QA box. I would love to read it at the end. So one of my, well, one actually, my family doctor, MD, sent me some newsletters, and one of them said that the placing a mask on yourself, washing your hands every day is an expression of compassion to yourself and others, because by doing so, you are wishing and hoping that the current pandemic is not going to manifest to the worst situation. And so washing hand is not necessarily just to protect yourself, but rather an expression of compassion to yourself and others. Okay, so I'm just checking oh, I can't see the, okay. I realized when I was sharing, okay, let's see if I can see anything coming up, Q&A or anything. Okay, so I'm gonna finish the PowerPoint and then I will read your Q&A or chat comments. Compassion is a keen awareness of the interdependence of all things. Absolutely, right? Just like the example of putting a mask on, washing your hands, already you are connecting with other people. And the hope is that the connection and interdependence is going to manifest in a positive outcome. Yeah, if you thought about anything else about this particular quote, please feel free to write in the Q&A or chat box. Oops, sorry, it moves too quickly. Compassionate people are geniuses in the art of living, more necessary to the dignity, security, and joy of humanity than the discoverers of knowledge. All right. So do we have enough people here on the earth? I hope so. And I hope all of us listening into this conversation today will consider you are part of these geniuses, right? Yeah. This, I believe, is the last one. The heart is like a garden. It can grow compassion or fear, resentment or love. What seeds will you plant there? Right. I think there are some Q&A and chat coming in. So I believe this is the last slide. So, oh, the final thoughts, yes. So I'll just put this out there and then I will read the Q&A comments. Final thoughts is that can you be compassionate to yourself? Are you compassionate to yourself now and today? Can your self-compassion translate into compassion towards others? And the last question, how can health and wellness coaching facilitate your compassion cultivation? So I'm gonna close this sharing of the slide. And yes, I did have a reference list, but anybody who need this slide set, I'm happy to send it to you. So let me just close the share and check out the box of comments. Sue said self-compassion, yes, it starts with me and us. Compassion be your heart space, heart chakra and open. Absolutely. And Jean mentioned compassion is so important. The heart rules all in the body. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, what a beautiful comments. Thank you very much. And I would just to say, I feel like I know most of you here in this audience. Any questions, comments, um, any revelation? Just listening to this conversation, I was hoping this session to be uh, thinking, feeling, and reflecting. So if you have done any of these, I am so thrilled of your accomplishment this morning. And if any questions or comments come to you later, please feel free to reach back to me. I think one of the audience, Aina, is a certified wellness coach. At least I know that. And many of you are healthcare and health field wellness practitioners themselves. So thank you very much for participating in this session. And if you don't have any other comments, I will just inform you that this Wellness Expo was made possible because of the Georgian Court Marketing Department made that beautiful website for us, as well as the nitty gritty of Zoom use. I was oriented and I was able to use. And the exhibitors, all of the exhibitors, many of them are donors to Georgian Court University. So thank you so much for donating and supporting Georgian Court. And presenters, some are alums, some are faculty members, staff, and the participants like you. Some are alum of our program, and it's always great to reconnect with all of you. So thank you so much for participating, and I hope to see you soon in another session. Thank you. Bye, everyone.